Well, welcome to Raised in Alaska. Recently, a company named Campark contacted me and asked me if I would review a game camera for them. So I just got this in the mail today. I'm super excited about it. If you guys watch my channel, you know I'm kind of a game camera nerd anyways. And so for somebody to want me to review a game camera, boy, that's right up my alley. And so we'll take a look at it here. We're going to do about 3 things in this video. Obviously, we're going to open up the package. We're going to take a look and see what's inside the box, all the pieces that come with it. Then we'll go through the setup. Then I'm going to take it out and deploy it in the field. And so this is a solar-powered game camera. I do not have any solar powered cameras in my current arsenal of cameras, so I'm super excited about that. The thought of being able to take a camera out, deploy it, and not have to worry about batteries is pretty exciting. And so there's right on top before you start, so I'll have to go back and read that. They have a quick setup guide. Got the camera here. Let's take a look at it real quickly. So you can see it's got solar panel on top, it's got a sticker over it, so we'll take the sticker off. And then everything's covered with stickers here. I'll take those off. And so we will go ahead and take a close look at the whole camera and at programming it here. Okay, so this is everything that's in the box. There's the solar panel manual, the instruction manual. There's a quick guide that you can scan and get to information. They have a before you start card that gives you some quick little tips, you know, when you're going to start. And then here they have this is a standard 1/4 inch by 20 threaded mount. And the mount is really set up, I mean, it's a flat mount that would mount well to a flat surface. I don't know how well it'll mount to a tree. Maybe if you hit it with an axe and leveled it off. I've not used something like that before. And I'll probably actually use a different mount when I put it on the tree, but we'll see. It has a USB cord that you can download pictures directly off of, and I believe you can also use this to, and I'll do this before I take it into the field, you can power up. This has got its own battery inside of it, and so the solar power charges the battery inside of this, and that's what it runs off of. It also holds batteries internally that we'll look at in a minute. But I think when I put it out in the field, I'm not going to put any batteries in it because they say with a half an hour of solar a day, it's enough to charge this battery to run it. So I'm going to experiment with it and leave no batteries in it and let it go on its own. But before I take it out, I will go ahead and charge that all the way up. You can take the solar power charger off by pushing this button here and sliding it. And then this cap would go over that to protect it. And we'll look at that while we're here. When I first read about this and looked at it, my concern was, is this going to be a port of entry for water or anything else? But it looks, I have to assume that they've sealed all this up so you could probably get water on that and it's not going to hurt it. It doesn't look like there's a rubber gasket in here, and so it's not sealed by rubber gasket. So they anticipate this is going to be outside, so I have to assume that they know this is probably going to get a little bit of water in there from time to time. And they're probably okay with that then, is my guess. Then also in there, there's a strap and some little screws. If I was going to use that on my applications, I would use bigger screws. So I'll figure out how I'm going to mount this when I put it out in the field. I already took the cover off the front part here, and then this, both of these say remove off the sensors. Probably helps if you have long, pretty fingernails. I don't have either. Before we open it up, let's take a lap around here. You see here I've got a cover on that, and that covers up the 2 lenses. There's 2 lenses on here, which is really interesting. One is a dedicated daytime lens, and the other's a dedicated nighttime lens, so it doesn't have to switch back and forth between. And we'll take this off now. So there we can see the solar panel now. And then it's got 3 motion sensors here, which actually then go out to the 120 degrees. These are infrared lights that illuminate so that it can take pictures at night. And on the back of it, then, this is supposed to grip the tree if you put it directly against a tree. And then it has, this lines up with here, so you can run a Python cable through there, which I generally do. And then people can't even open this up if somebody found your camera. They wouldn't be able to open it up. 2 pretty stiff latches, that's nice. You can see that here there's a rubber gasket in here, so that's going to seal it up. This is for batteries. Takes 8 batteries. I'm going to go ahead and put batteries in it right now just so that we can go ahead and look at the functions of it. Looks like it holds 8 AA batteries. And it takes an SD card down here. Before we go any further, let's take a look at a couple other things real quickly. Here you can plug in and charge the solar charger. The other kind of cool feature here is if you wanted to run a bigger solar thing or you had a different power source, you can run a different power source in the bottom. It's got lots of different kinds of power, which is interesting. And this little screen here has its own little protective cover on it that I'm going to take off. Here we have off, setup, and on. I'm just going to turn it to setup to start with. Okay, so you can see what's in the screen right now, which is pretty cool. Here it says 4K. I want to be recording in 4K. Batteries are at 100%, I hope so. I just put those in, right? And then we have different modes. We have photo mode, image size, resolution, 4K, date and time, time format 24 hours. They generally have 24 or 12 hour. I always run mine on 24 hour. Date stamp, so you can go ahead and set the date, and it puts it on the bottom of every video or picture, which is important if you're trying to figure out when things come and go and whatnot. So I always leave date stamps. You can name the camera, and I name every one of my cameras, so I'll go ahead and name this one. And then you have the opportunity to have a password setting so that if somebody stole your camera, they wouldn't even be able to get into it. I've never done that before. You can Bluetooth. This is a super cool function in the sense that I can take my phone with me, Bluetooth to the camera when I'm setting it up, so I don't have to take a picture, pull the card out, put the card in a card reader. I can just in real time Bluetooth it to my phone and see what's happening. I'm super excited about that. Wi-Fi password, auto Wi-Fi, beep sound, language, I'm going to stick with English, format, so I could format the card, which I will do before I get done. Default settings. This tells the version that we're running. And I don't know what MacU FW update is. That's probably if you're going to update the whole thing, it's going to be my guess. And then we're back to the beginning. And from here, then we can also do the interval in between pictures. And so when you take a picture or a video, however long that video duration runs, this is the time frame in between when it's not taking any pictures. Then we can go to sensitivity, and I'm going to leave it at medium. Infrared LEDs, auto. So this is the side peripheral motion sensors, and we're going to leave those on. You can actually run this in a time-lapse mode, which I'm not going to do, at least in this initial one. Maybe at some point that I will. And then monitoring period, you could set this up so that it only monitors from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock or whatever. I'm leaving that off because I want it to run 24 hours around the clock. And then from here, I can do photo, video or photo and video. I'm going to put it on photo and video because what I'd like to do is take one photo and then the video with it. And so here we can see the image size. And I'm going to go to 4K because I believe that I should always take the highest quality pictures. Okay, so with daytime and nighttime, you can change the quality of pictures that you're going to take. So during the daytime, I'm going to run this at 44 megapixels. And at nighttime, I'm going to run it at 8 megapixels and we'll see what happens. That kind of is keeping in mind that I'm going to always try to get the best that I can. The shutter speed is set at 1/30th of a second. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. And picture number, you can get 1 to 4 photos. I'm just going to take 2. And the interval in between, I'm going to drop that down. Sometimes what happens is something cool is happening and then in the next frame it's gone. So I'm going to drop that to 15 seconds. Okay, I'm going to go down to video length and I'm going to make my video length 20 seconds. Normally I do videos that are only 10 seconds long, but I'm going to do these at 20 seconds because I just want to see what this thing will do. Okay, so I've set the time, I've set the date, I've named this camera, and so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And it will save all that information as long as there's a charge in here, and then I'll go and deploy this into the field. All right, I'm coming in here today to mount a new game camera, and my plan is to mount it up here just probably above this spot that I cleared. So I have a tree step that I'm going to install here in the bottom so that I have a step up so I can get higher than I normally do. Normally I keep my cameras in reach where I can reach them easy, but I'm not putting this camera today in a bear box, and I've had problems in the past with animals getting after my cameras, bears, moose, things like that. And so I want it high enough that a moose can't rake at it easy and that a bear can't sniff at it or something. I mean, if they decide they want to crawl up or get after it, there's probably nothing stopping that. But for now, I at least want to get it out of their easy reach. So this is a dead spruce tree, and I would like to leave as much kind of camo on it as I can, but at the same time, I have to be able to get up here to access my camera. I'm going to use a mount called a stick pick. This screws into a tree pretty easily, and then this goes on the bar and the camera goes on top of here. And so this is the Campark model TC07. It's solar powered. It does have batteries. Well, you can put batteries in it, but for this application, I'm not putting any batteries in it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put on the stick pick mount and get it put up. The nice thing about this TC07 is it's pretty much set up like most game cameras. There's nothing that I've seen that's so out of funk that you're like, I don't know what that means. It operates pretty much like any standard camera. I think that there's some features that are cooler. And maybe some features that I'm just using for the first time myself. But the solar power for sure. I have no solar powered cameras. And so that's going to be real interesting. And today it's raining today. And so my little concern that I had, and it's a minor concern, about where the solar power cell meets the game camera, how watertight it is, we're going to get a test on that today. But all in all, it's a really nice looking game camera. It feels very durable. I would say that it's on the higher end of game cameras just by the way it feels. You know, the test is going to be in the future in the videos that produces and how it captures clips, and if the infrareds work well, if the trigger mechanism works well. And so that's really the ultimate test, but just feeling at it right now, it feels like a very durable, well-built camera. Okay, I got the camera pointed the direction I want it pointed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe the whole thing down with scent wipes, make sure it's clean. Okay, so I got my new game camera installed and ready to go. I'm going to get out of here. I look forward to seeing the pictures that are on it. It should be awesome. Just a quick look at what we got happening here. There's the step. You can see I've kind of camouflaged it up, and then the camera blends in quite well with this tree. I think from far away a person will never even see it, and if you don't know you're looking for it, I don't think you'll notice it. Let's find out what's on this camera. My initial thoughts on this camera are, I really like the programming and setup of the camera. It's super intuitive. I would say it's easier than other game cameras that I've used. Video quality, as you can see for yourself, is absolutely exceptional. This is by far the best video quality of any of the cameras that I have, and I have other cameras that claim that they're 4K. Thus far, in the videos that I've taken, I think that the audio seems kind of quiet, but it could be the case that I just haven't had an opportunity to have something go by that was noisy. You pick that sound up, but I'm a little concerned about that. And finally, the solar power on this is going to be super amazing, I think. Granted, I've only had it in the field 5 days so far, but it's functioned without batteries, with the solar power, and I kind of feel like I'll be able to leave it for long periods of time and not have to worry about batteries at all, which I think is a huge bonus. So in summary, I would say so far, I'm very impressed.